When your ads and landing pages don't match, conversions drop quickly. Let's talk about message match and smarter ad strategies in today's episode of Closing Time. Thanks for tuning into Closing Time, the show for go-to-market leaders. I'm Val Riley, head of marketing for Unbounce, Insightly, and LeadsRx. Today, I'm joined by Barry Buckman. He is Director of Client Strategies at Sunhouse Marketing and co-founder of SEMulator, which I'm excited to learn a little bit more later in the podcast. Barry, welcome to Closing Time.
Hi, Val. Great to be here.
So you've been in digital marketing for 13 years, lucky 13, and you're a Google Ads partner. You know the paid media space pretty well. Can you start by sharing a little bit about your journey and how Sunhouse Marketing helps clients?
Sure. So at Sunhouse, we deal with all aspects of digital marketing, but our sweet spot over the years has really become lead generation, and in particular, paid lead generation. We do this through ad campaigns that almost exclusively run ads to Unbounce landing pages, and that's really also become a specialty of ours. We're not just into the accumulation of leads because we know that not all leads are created equal, but we're really looking for valuable leads that we know are going to move down funnel and result in revenue for our clients. I started at Sunhouse in 2012, and I started using Unbounce very early on during that time. I would say, honestly, I pretty much built my career on using running ad campaigns that direct users to Unbounce pages. And over the years, I've tested many things, and I've developed some techniques that I've seen have consistently led to upswings in conversion rates, and in turn increased profitability in campaigns. And one thing I'll say is that when I got into CRO, conversion rate optimization in general, and Unbounce in particular, I felt like it really sharpened the way I thought about digital marketing campaigns. I thought that before that, it was really hard to really get a full grasp on the different types of messaging that you could roll out for a client. And once you start really digging into the different types of messaging and how to integrate that in your campaigns and on your landing pages, it really sharpens things for you. And you start thinking on a much stronger level about how you can get that that client to succeed.
Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say how much we appreciate the love for Unbounce, but sounds like you've built a really strong career in digital marketing. So this stat might blow your mind. We've shared it on Closing Time before. It still shocks me that 52% of B2B PPC ads send people to a homepage instead of a landing page. So let's talk about message match and why it's so critical.
Sure, I'd love to. So, message match is the simple concept that the ad messaging and the landing page messaging must match. And when you do this, you see your conversion rates improve. And there are lots of stats out there to show this, but really it's common sense. And really this common sense predates landing pages and predates the internet. Just imagine it's 1982 and you're reading through your newspaper. And you see in your newspaper that there's an ad, and on page 4 of the newspaper about this offer at a local store, and you go to that store and you see that the offering that they have does not match the ad that you read in your newspaper. Obviously, you'll be a lot less likely to purchase something from that store. That this has been true in the 80s, in the 1880s, 1780s, whatever. It's the same common sense concept that's been alive since the beginning of time. And so really, message match is making sure that users see something in an ad and they get the same exact message when it comes to the time to convert, which in the age of digital marketing is the landing page. Something I'll say is that, your real ad is your landing page. When Google or Facebook or whatever platform you happen to be running ads on talks about their ad, the ad itself is an important but nonetheless glorified read more button that is really, its job is to drive people to your landing page, which is your real advertisement, because that's when people are going to decide whether or not they're going to convert. Okay. And I think herein lies a very important point that if you are running ads to your static homepage, which never changes, you're really only running one ad. Okay. And that's something that's very, very, very important about landing pages, even above and beyond the message matching. Because if you're only running one ad, then you're really not doing a whole lot to optimize your campaign. This I find to be the best way to sell stubborn clients on the idea of using landing pages. Often when you're on a call with a prospective client, they'll say, "No, what do we need this landing page stuff for? We have a good website." And I say, "Okay, but that's just one." I'll tell them that your landing page really is your ad, and your website doesn't really change, and so that means that you're only running one ad in your campaign. Do you really want me to run an ad campaign that only has one ad? And they say no. And this tactic has never failed. I've never gotten any objections to this whatsoever. So, I'd say that's one thing that makes landing pages really, really, really important. And the other is, message matching, because if you have three different ads, let's say, that all say different things, and your homepage only says one thing, it's impossible to message match 3 ads to one homepage. So, the importance of landing pages just can't be overstated in this way.
So I love that analogy of the storefront, that one ad. I think that's great. I think it's really important to bring it down to a level that clients can understand. So brilliant tactic there. I feel like this ties back to this most recent policy update that Google issued. It was back in February, and they rolled out this ad prediction model, and it really doubled down on message match and navigation. So was that surprising to you, or are you like, okay, they're finally catching up here?
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I was actually, in a very good way, shocked when I heard about this. It really showed me that Google is taking message match seriously. And the reason I say I'm shocked is because that seemed to me and to other marketers that, for the past number of years, Google has kind of inadvertently, but nonetheless definitely, been waging a war on message match, with responsive search ads. As you might know, back 5, 6, 7 years ago, search ads were a pretty simple thing. You told Google exactly what you wanted your ad to say, and that's what your ad would say. Then they rolled out responsive search ads at some point, where they give you, you can provide a list of up to 15 different headlines that Google can mix and match into your ad. And Google decides, through its own intelligence, which of those headlines it wants to show. This obviously could be good for certain things, but it's definitely not good for message matching when you want to make sure that your ad and your landing page match up. And obviously, as you might know, you can pin your ad, you can pin certain headlines and certain descriptions in your ad, but then what happens? Then Google just all of a sudden says your ad quality is poor, which doesn't make us very happy. Just to get back to the point, I was really, really happy to see that they're taking a step that actually takes message matching seriously, just to make sure we get back to that basic common sense that's been alive since the beginning of advertising.
Yeah, I love that take. I didn't even see it through that lens when Google was trying to optimize for us. Sometimes it may have taken us away from the exact meaning of the landing page. That's a really good point. Maybe they are finally learning. So as marketers, testing is a big part of optimization. Can you talk about how you use A/B testing to drive results for clients? And is it something, again, where you have to give clients a reason to allow you to do A/B testing on their accounts?
I would say, okay, so A/B testing is, it's really core to increasing conversion rates and increasing profitability. I think once you sell the client on the idea of running different ads and different landing pages in particular, they're happy to see, you come up with new ideas, new messaging ideas that you can roll out in your ad campaigns. Sometimes I've seen that, if you want to give a campaign that seems to be kind of, static, like a good shot in the arm, the best way to do this sometimes is by rolling out some completely new messaging that you hadn't tested before. And that can really only be done, through landing pages on a landing page level. I'll explain now the exact method that I use when I'm doing A/B testing in my ad campaigns and in turn on my landing pages. And just as a sneak peek, the Google Ads simulation tool that we'll talk about in a few minutes is a really great way to practice this and to really get the process down. Okay, so what I find to be the best way to do this before you even start on your ad campaign is to together with the client, develop 2 or 3 value propositions that you want to test in your ad campaigns. 2 or 3 value propositions that really you think could be really good sellers for your target market. And I'm saying a maximum of 3 because, as you might know, Google only allows right now 3 responsive search ads in any given ad group. So you want to make sure that you have all of these tested in that ad group. Okay, so once I have those those, let's call it 3 value propositions that I want to test, I don't even go yet into the ad account. First, I go into Unbounce and I create 2 or 3, let's call it 3 Unbounce landing pages, 1 for each value proposition. Okay, what's really important here is that I'm not talking about different variants in one Unbounce page. I'm talking about 3 different Unbounce pages, 1 Unbounce page for each value proposition. Okay, and then I create 3 different ads, 1 ad for each landing page, 1 ad for each landing page, 1 ad for each landing page. Okay, so for example, if you have one landing page where the main value proposition is, hey, come to us, we're very affordable. You want to make sure the ad says, come to us, we're very affordable. That's on one landing page URL. On the next landing page URL, come to us because we have really fast service. That's what the ad should say. Okay, you should call this your ad and landing page battery. Okay, you don't want to A/B test different variants with different messaging on the same landing page URL because this messes up your message match. Okay, so really when you're doing A/B testing, the core thing you're doing is actually testing not the variants of the landing page, but the ad landing page batteries that you have, and you're going to have 2 or 3 of those. Okay, so then you might ask, when you're actually doing A/B testing on different variants within your landing page, you can have as many variants as you like. What are you really testing there? And my answer to that is anything other than the messaging. The core messaging on those variants has to stay the same. Okay, but you can definitely test things like visual elements, long pages versus short pages. One thing I love to do is to spend lots of time creating a really, really, really long landing page, and then creating a new variant where I just chop off half of it and A/B test that and see which one converts best. Also testing different types of forms, different elements that you're collecting in the forms. Anything that's not related to messaging, that's what you should be testing on the variant level. But make sure that the main testing that you're doing is the different ad to landing page batteries. And you can do this in Google, Bing, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. It's the same process.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your method. I think a lot of folks are going to benefit from that. So speaking of folks that could benefit, let's talk about junior marketers, because a lot of times you have young people trying to break in the field, and getting hands-on experience with an ad set usually means spending actual budget. And that's very risky. I know, for instance, when I look at our paid media, I want that in the hands of someone who's super experienced. But we all know that you learn by doing. And so you have a really neat workaround for this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm going to ask a rhetorical question to everybody out there. And my rhetorical question is, whenever you get on a plane, you can rest assured that the pilots who are flying that plane have already trained in simulators for many, many, many hours before getting hired by the airline. And, my rhetorical question is, does this make you happy? And I'm sure that 100% of people will answer, yes, this is a good thing. Okay, all data everywhere shows that the best way to learn is through simulation and repetition. And simulation is a much more effective way to learn than just learning in theory alone. Okay? And yet, digital marketing simulators don't exist up until now, but let's just say they have not existed up until now. And digital marketers spend 0 hours in flight simulators before flying. Okay? And then they get hired and they're flying the plane. This results in clients paying for the junior marketer's learning curves. Okay, if a junior marketer is managing a campaign and they simply don't have the experience, they're going to learn by spending their client's money. This is a bad situation for the client, for the marketer himself, for the agency. Okay, because they're just not ready to manage these campaigns because they don't have the experience. As all experienced digital marketers know, What is experience? It's the sweat. It's staring into a dashboard of results that you know you need to improve, and then knowing how to improve it. And this can only be learned through years of experience while spending thousands of dollars in ads. That's up until now, or through a simulator. Okay, and simulation tools for digital marketing don't exist until now.
Well, so I feel like that's the best setup for what you call the SEMulator. Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Tell us how you developed this tool and what it allows people to do.
Sure. So the SEMulator, okay, is a Google Ads flight simulator. Okay, this gives users, be it beginners or even experienced marketers who still want to practice their skills, the ability to do exactly what digital marketers do every single day in a risk-free environment without spending a dime on ads. Okay, so in the SEMulator, you get the experience of building, managing, and most importantly, optimizing ad campaigns without spending any money on ads. You choose your landing page copy, you choose your keywords, negative keywords, match types, ad copy, all the key elements, okay? And then the most important thing is you actually press go, and the system provides you with simulated ad results. And then what happens? Okay, you get a dashboard full of real metrics: spend, clicks, conversions, conversion rate, the works. But this all happens in a risk-free, simulated environment without spending any money on ads at all. Okay, and this gives you the experience of analyzing these metrics, looking at the dashboard of a campaign that might not be performing up to par, seeing what needs to be fixed, and then actually fixing it, because then you can make adjustments to your campaign, run the campaign over and over again until you get the results that you want. Okay, so this is, as we all know, this is exactly what digital marketers do every single day in the real world while spending thousands of dollars of their clients' money on ads. This gives you the experience to do this in a virtual environment. Okay, so how does this help people? So first of all, it helps through simulation and repetition. Okay, the simulation is really, really key for beginners who usually come into their jobs without any real experience. Okay, and this will help beginners know which levers to pull to improve a campaign. It's also a really great training tool for agencies. I like to think about this. If you're familiar with the movie The Karate Kid, I like to think of the SEMulator as the Mr. Miyagi of digital marketing. What did Mr. Miyagi do? He taught Daniel karate through a repeatable process. Wax on, wax off. Repeat, repeat, repeat. All day, all night. Wax on, wax off. And the next thing you know, Daniel's in the karate tournaments, and he knew exactly what to do because he learned the repeatable process. Okay, and the best way to learn is by burning a repeatable process into your brain. And the SEMulator does that. It's really, really fun, and I think you and your employees will definitely enjoy it. You have some of my dry humor Google Ad training videos in there too, so I think you'll really enjoy that as well.
I just kind of want to say thank you on behalf of marketing leaders all over, because so often we have young people come to us and say, well, how do I get started? How do I try? And tools like this are just a great way to give them something. Okay, go here, and this is something you can learn. I like to know that my whole team understands what's going on in media buying. Certainly we have people that specialize in that, but the person who's writing the landing page and the person who's designing the landing page, it'd be great if they understood how their work fits into this process in a risk-free way.
For sure. I'm in a bunch of different, Google Ad, Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups. And, oftentimes I see beginners asking, what's the best way to learn? And this, I believe this is, learning through simulation is the best way. And so this is going to be the best way to learn.
Awesome. Barry, this conversation has been great. Thank you so much. Where can people go if they want to find out more about Sunhouse Marketing, and then certainly to get their hands on the SEMulator?
Sure. So for Sunhouse Marketing, for anything you need as far as digital marketing is concerned, you can visit us at sunhousemarketing.com. The SEMulator, you can visit us at mysemulator.com. Okay, SEMulator is spelled just like the word simulator, only S-E-M instead of S-I-M. So it's mysemulator.com. If you have any questions about either of these, please just reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer all of your questions personally. I'm the Barry Buckman who is in digital marketing, not the architect who designed Portland, Oregon.
Barry, thanks so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you very much.
And thanks to all of you for tuning into Closing Time. Remember, you can get this episode delivered right to your inbox. Just click the link in the show notes. We will see you next week.